Hey everyone, so I am finally back with another video for you today. As you can probably already tell from the title, I have gotten my cycles back, so I thought it was a good opportunity to start up my period series again. All of that TMI stuff that some of you love, some of you are like, Danielle, really? Did we need to know that? If you don't like the series, then just don't watch it because we're going to talk about some TMI stuff in here. So yeah, I got my period back on Friday the 18th. I'm really happy about it actually. I'm definitely happy about how everything went down this time around in terms of when I started it. So I got my period 9-ish months postpartum. I want to call it 9 months so bad, but it was actually only 8 months and a half. But I want to call it 9 months because that was kind of my goal, but whatever. With my previous children, if you don't know, with Olivia, I got it back at 3.5 months, which is just way too freaking early for somebody who was breastfeeding as much as I was. And with Leia, I got it back at 4 months. So, and I was breastfeeding her exclusively as well. So I don't really know what was the big shift this time around that made it go as long as it did. I mean, I am probably, like, Darian is probably the most mom clingy, so it could be that he was just literally on me almost all the time, and he still kind of is. It just really depends. I talked to my midwife about it, and she said that some women are fertile turtles and their bodies just want to get right back into it straight away, and I would kind of believe that to be true because I have gotten pregnant relatively fast the past couple of times, so it's a very big possibility. As you can see, I am wearing red today to kind of celebrate the whole thing. I'm celebrating. So today I wanted to just give you some tips. I feel like I'm blabbering on, but this is kind of how these videos go. They're very in-depth, and I like to kind of have like a period diary, you could say. So this isn't like 100% a tip video. If you want the tips, I'll put in the description box like where to skip to get straight to the tips. But for now, let's talk about how I've been doing, because I like to talk about that because, you know, sometimes moms just need to rant about stuff. And I apologize about looking tired. I've been bleeding for a few days, so yeah, and not much sleep, even though Darian did sleep really well last night, like only got up twice, which is really good for him. In case you don't know, I actually got my period around this crazy full moon, which I kind of wanted to talk about in here because it's very eventful. We've got a super moon, blood moon. It's today, actually, and what else? Eclipse, but you can only see the eclipse in certain parts of the world. I'm not sure you can see it in Germany, like a moon eclipse, and wolf moon is what this one is. So for me, this is a very intense moon. I think it's crazy that I actually got my period on a blood moon. That's a little bit interesting. But the days leading up to this moon, I was having some crazy dreams, and I wouldn't be surprised if the power of this moon is what activated my cycles to come back. Very fascinating that they came back around the same time. Emotions have definitely been running really high for me. I wasn't aware that I was PMSing, but it definitely felt like it was a possibility. I think I said in Darian's 8 months update that I'm pretty sure I ovulated, and I guess I did, but I don't think my luteal phase was really very long, which is quite normal for things to be a little bit irregular at first. But I'm excited to see how things go, and in terms of the bleeding, I'm on day 3.5, and I feel like it's already starting to get a lot better. I've had zero cramping, and that's weird because I would say my cramping got a lot worse after Leia. But every time you have a baby, it'll be a little bit different. After Olivia, it was about the same as before I got pregnant. Now, so far, it's like completely pain-free, the most pain-free it's ever been, which is pretty awesome. And that could have to do with the fact that my uterus is so pliable now because it's been stretched a few times, and it's like not as constricted when the uterus is actually contracting during your period. Now, I've been a little bit ferocious, I've been a little bit triggery. PMS is definitely the hardest part for me. I want to kind of update you guys every cycle. But I am feeling really good. I actually feel a lot more like myself, not just being like breastfeeding mom anymore. But I did want to mention that even so I'm not like totally bothered by my cycles, apart from PMS. I actually kind of enjoy it. I think it's kind of a fun ride. Breastfeeding on your period can be really tricky, and that's another reason why I was so happy to start my period much later with Darian, not when I was exclusively breastfeeding, because he is on solids now, so that's a huge lifesaver, because I do struggle with a dip in supply. a few days before my period and also the first day of my period still, and then it starts to go back up. And the reason for that is I can make like a full video on that if you want, but basically your hormones change rapidly, and during PMS, leading up to the day of your period, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone dip a lot, and that's also why you feel so shit, is because those are kind of like hormones that give you a little bit of energy. Also, your blood calcium levels drop. Now, there's kind of mixed information about it. Blood calcium actually goes lowest around ovulation, but for some reason I experience most of my issues only during the period, never before, like never during ovulation, at least so far. Maybe this time it'll be different. I hope not though, because it's already frustrating, and I can tell that the supply is dipped based on the fact that he's waking up a lot at night. He is crazy at the boob. Like when he's there, he's just there all the time. It's like I'm breastfeeding a newborn again, and I basically just surrender to that, along with offering him more solid food. He needs his milk, so I just take it. You know, it's like, oh, it's just a few days out of my cycle. I'm a stay-at-home mom. It's fine. And also the letdown, that's probably the most annoying part, is not only is there a little dip, but it takes forever for the letdown release to just happen. It's just like he'll be sitting there suckling, and he'll get really angry. He'll start punching the boob, and we'll both just be sitting there like, come on, come out, please. It's so frustrating. So it's really just 3 days out of 30 days. I think it's pretty workable, you know, and he's on solids now, so it's all good. So I wanted to talk about today how I combat personally the low supply. So I'm trying something new. I'll let you guys know how this goes, but I'm trying magnesium and calcium supplements before the period, and I'm going to try during ovulation as well, and I'll let you know if that helps, because like I said, your body does have low blood calcium levels during that time. Another thing you could do is drink red raspberry leaf tea or fenugreek tea. This is actually a mixture of the two, and just drinking a ton of water as well. Fenugreek is pretty famous for upping supply, and I have fabulous experience with it. I love fenugreek. This is actually a tea that has more than fenugreek. I have loved this every single one of my breastfeeding journeys when my periods have come back. It's the Valeda breastfeeding tea. It's got a lot of different like milk promoting, lactation promoting herbs. It's got anise, fenugreek, fennel, cumin, and looks like lemongrass maybe? And this tastes pretty good. I mean, it's not like the most yummy thing in the world, but it works. And you can just take the capsules as well of fenugreek. I just find this works a little better for me. Also, I told you I'm not crampy, but I do still take baths, and I am taking mineral baths a lot lately. So like magnesium baths. Be careful sometimes with magnesium though. I have heard some women have had dip in supply for magnesium. I'm not one of those people because I feel like my body is sometimes deficient in magnesium. So I really enjoy taking magnesium baths. So those are just some of the things that I've been doing this cycle. I didn't exercise on my cycle. I've stopped exercising on day 1 of my period quite a while ago, like probably about 2 years ago. I just like to take any time that I have for myself on that day to just make it a sacred space. I journal, I meditate, I relax, I let whatever emotions need to come out, and I just like to respect that time. Really, that's about it. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, found it interesting and helpful. Let me know where you guys are in your cycle, and if you're excited the series is back, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye! Pick a dream and wake your soul. Let the music take control and learn to dance. Get on up, let's go. We've got some money and gas in the car, so let's hit the road. Can't you see we're moving slow? It's dangerous, we'll see.